clicked on this video because you are done giving away your beautiful creations for free and it's time for you to turn your hobby into a business. I cannot wait to walk you through my 8 steps that I have for you today so you can turn your craft into a successful business and actually start making some money with your crochet. Hey makers, welcome back to my channel. My name is Camryn. I run the crochet boutique called Camryn's Cute Creations. Here on my channel, I love helping fellow handmade business owners and aspiring handmade business owners take that next step in their business and start making some serious money selling crochet. Because we're crocheting all the time anyways, we might as well be making some money while doing it. You know what I'm saying? I post weekly videos here all about helping you make more money in your handmade business, so be sure to subscribe down below. Before we jump in to my 8 steps that I have for you today, I just want to start by saying, please do not feel super overwhelmed. I'm going to be throwing a ton of information at you all at once. It's going to feel like a lot, but get out a notepad, get out a pen, and I'm also here each week continuing to make weekly videos to help you grow your handmade business. So if any of these topics you have further questions or you want me to dive deeper in another video, just let me know in the comment section down below. Also, I need you to make a promise to me right now. I need you to make a promise to me. I know it's kind of early in the video for promises, but please promise me that you're not just gonna watch this video, take a bunch of notes, and not take action. I want you to take that next step. I want you to succeed doing this. And really, sometimes the thing that's holding us back is perfectionism. So trust me, getting started can be the hardest part. Once you get in the flow, once you get started with these steps, I promise you things are gonna start happening naturally for you and you're gonna start growing your business naturally. It does not have to be perfect right at once. So fellow perfectionists out there, you can let go of that perfectionism. It's not serving us right now. I want you to promise me right now that you're going to take action after watching this video. But I promise you the hard work is so worth it. It's so rewarding and I'm so excited for you to pursue your handmade business. I also want to mention that I did design a checklist that goes with this video. So to dive deeper on any of the topics or for the links and resources, go ahead and download that free checklist I have for you in the description box. Again, 100% free. It's all laid out for you. It's all organized. So you don't have to stress about being scrambled anymore because trust me, I remember when I first started my business, I was all over the place. So I just put everything together that I wanted to know when I first started my handmade business into this checklist so that you can use that and you can feel a lot more organized and it's going to be easier for you to actually take action. So go ahead and download that in the description box and let's get started with the 8 tips I have for you on how to start your handmade business. Number 1 is market research and planning. We have to make a good plan. We can't just start making a bunch of random stuff. Actually, that's kind of what I did. I didn't really have much of a plan, but if I were to go back, I would want to have some sort of a plan. What are you gonna sell? What are some general price points you're thinking about selling? Are you gonna do more high-end things? Or are you gonna use more budget-friendly yarn and offer more budget-friendly prices? Who's your target audience? What's your niche? These are all questions to ask yourself. And keep in mind, there's no wrong answers here. If you want to charge $200 for beanies, that's all good. You just got to make sure that there are people out there that are going to pay it. So that's another question to ask yourself. Who is my target audience? Who is actually going to purchase these items from me? What items are you planning on making? You want to make sure that you're not completely overwhelming yourself all at once. I know when I first started, I was thinking, okay, I'm going to do dog bandanas. I'm going to do baby stuff. I'm going to do adult things and home decor. It was just all these different categories, which is totally fine. And you can incorporate all those in your business at some point. But when you're first getting started, just pick one of these things. So maybe that's baby stuff. Maybe that's all dog stuff. And you do bandanas and beds and dog blankets. So picking that niche is really going to help you stay focused and less overwhelmed when you're first getting started. For me, I sell a ton of baby stuff. That is my main focus. Is I'm selling a ton of my baby beanies. I'm selling a ton of baby booties and baby blankets and all the cute baby things. But I also have incorporated some other items in my shop, but I suggest starting with that main thing and incorporating other items as you grow in your business. You also want to establish what makes you unique. Now, I want you to really ask yourself what sets you aside from your competition, because you are going to have other people doing similar things as you, but what are you going to be doing that's a little bit differently? Why should your customers choose you over your competitors? Now, I really try not to be super competitive in my business, but with that being said, there are certain things that I like to do that are unique to me. One of those things that makes you unique maybe is you use all recycled materials and you thrift all your materials, so everything you do is upcycled and it's environmentally friendly. That's a super awesome thing that makes you different than your competition. Something that makes you unique, maybe going along with my dog example, is maybe you donate 10% of your profits to a local animal shelter, or maybe every 10 bandanas you sell, you donate a blanket to the shelter. Things like that. Something that sets you aside from your competition is super important to establish right off the bat. Now, this doesn't have to be super unique and super different. If you can think of one thing that you can do that will set you aside, that's going to give you a little bit of an advantage when you're getting started in the market, because it is hard getting started, but if you have something established that you do that's different, you're going to attract more people right away. Last thing I want you to do in your market research and planning section is make sure that there's actually an audience of people, of customers that will purchase those items from you. So you want to start talking to your ideal customers and getting feedback right off the bat, even before getting started and investing a ton of time and energy into your product. So maybe that is dog moms. Maybe your friend has a dog and you ask them, hey, what colors do you like best for this dog bed? That is literally your ideal customer. Getting feedback from them right off the bat is going to give you such a head start on getting your business going and just getting that feedback right away, even before investing a ton of time and energy into it. So that's something else to keep in mind, and make sure that there are a group of people out there that will buy your stuff. Just make sure you're selling products that people actually want to purchase, and we'll get into that a little bit more later in the video. Step number 2 is we need to figure out your business name. You want to choose a name that's not only relevant, but also memorable. You want to make sure people can pronounce the name, so don't use super big, complicated words. You also don't want to make your name way too long, because you want people to remember you. That is your brand name. You want people to think of you and remember you, and you don't want to have one of your customers be sitting there thinking, who in the world did I get this beanie from last year? And my name is very long. Camryn's Cute Creations, that's a long name. Now, let me just tell you, when I came up with my business name, it was 2019. I was a student. I thought I was just starting a little side hustle. I didn't really care that much. I remember even hanging out with my brother at the time, setting up my Etsy account, and I'm like, what about Camryn's Cute Creations? It's not taken, whatever, I kind of like it. I remember him literally telling me, isn't that kind of long in the moment? And I was like, whatever, I don't care. I'm just doing this for fun. And obviously it stuck. So that also kind of shows that your name doesn't matter that much. It does a little bit. I mean, it matters, but it doesn't matter as much as people make it seem. So pick something that is relevant, that is memorable, and just make sure it's not super long and using a bunch of complicated words, and you're probably good to go. You do want to make sure that no other businesses in your area have the name that you're trying to use, because first of all, I don't want you to accidentally copy anybody, but you can also get in huge trouble for taking somebody's name, even if it's an accident. So I'm just going to give you some resources on where to check if the name's already taken, so that you can double check if your name that you're trying to use for your crochet business is available for you. So this is where to go to check if the name you want is available. So first, you can search some online databases. So begin by searching online databases of registered business names. So many government agencies actually maintain searchable databases where you can check the availability of business names in their jurisdiction. So for example, in the United States, you can use the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. It's called USPTO database, and you can also use your state's business registration website. Now, I will link everything that I mentioned in the description box, and all these links are also going to be linked in that free checklist that I have available for you as well in the description box as well. So the next thing is you can check state and local business registries. So visit your state's official business registration website or office. Now, most states maintain databases of registered business names. Check both exact matches and variations of your desired business name. Also, you can check for the domain name availability. So check if the domain name corresponding to your desired business name is available. So having a matching domain name can be very important. That would be like my business name being Camryn's Cute Creations, but the domain name was taken, so I had to take Camryn's Creations. It isn't that much different, but establishing your name and keeping the domain the same is pretty important when sending traffic to your website. So that's just something that I want you to keep in mind. Also, checking social media platforms. This is so important. Search major social media platforms, for example, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and make sure that the username associated with your business name is available. This will help you maintain a consistent brand identity across different platforms. as well as your domain name. You want to make sure that your social media handles are all consistent, at least consistent enough. So if that domain name is available, even if you don't plan on using Twitter anytime soon, you may want to use it in the future. So just grab that handle really quick. Also, when you grow your business, you don't want anybody taking your name and using it on a different platform as well. So as soon as you come up with your business name, you want to make sure that you establish your business name across all the social media platforms, even the ones you don't see yourself using in the future. It's just important to grab those names so they are yours. Okay, I know I just threw a lot of information at you, but I promise you I'm kind of giving you this overwhelming stuff right at the beginning, and then we're going to have a lot more fun towards the end of the video. This is kind of boring, but we are talking about some legal considerations because we do need to talk about it. We do need to touch on that before we run our business. I want to make sure you're legal here. I don't want you breaking the law or anything, okay? I know you're just trying to crochet and you're not trying to break the law. So I just want to give you all the information you need to know to establish your business so that you can be moving on feeling confident that you're not accidentally breaking the law. I want to start this off by just letting you know, a little disclaimer here. I am not a lawyer. I don't really know much about legal things. Actually, I took business law in college, so I think I got a B+, so I don't have a background in law, so I don't want you to take what I say, run with it, and say, Camryn told me to do this. I instead am going to give you information on where to go to find this information in your area, because that's the other thing. It really depends on where you live. As much as I want to be like, hey, you watching this video, this is exactly the permits you need. This is exactly where to go to get it. This is exactly how much it'll be. I wish I could do that. I wish I could do that because I know when I first started my business and I was having to do all this legal stuff, it felt so overwhelming. It was like, what do I even do? So what I'm going to do is we're all going to take a deep breath together. I know this is weird, but we're taking a deep breath. And guess what? This legal stuff does not have to be as hard as some people make it out to be, and I'm going to be giving you all the information on where to go to find what you need for your business. Now let's dive into some of these legal considerations that you need to keep in mind when starting your handmade business. The first thing you want to do is choose a suitable business structure. So this could be a sole proprietorship or an LLC. There are a ton of different other ones, but those are going to be the two main ones you're probably going to be in between when first starting your handmade business. You're going to register your business with the appropriate government authorities. I was a sole proprietorship. I looked it up online. I went online on I'm from Washington, so it was the Washington DOR. I went on there, I got my license. It was a quick process, so I promise you it's not super complicated. A lot of people get fixated on, should I be an LLC or should I be a sole proprietorship? I'm just gonna let you know I'm a sole proprietorship, but I don't know enough about LLC versus sole proprietorship to give you that advice, but I will tell you where to do more research on that so you can see what is the best fit for you. But before I give you some of those resources, I will say you're going to need a business license, and in some cases you're gonna need some additional licensing and permits. It's depending on where you live and what you're selling. But I'm going to give you some resources on where to look up all that information for your area, and I'm going to make it really simple for you. I know it feels stressful right now, but don't worry about it. We've got this. I'm here with you. We're going to work through it, okay? So let me give you some resources on where to go to get your business registered. One is the local city or county clerk's office. So in many cases, you'll need to start at your local city or county clerk's office. They can provide information on the specific licenses and permits required for your specific business type with your jurisdiction. So that just means that it's gonna depend on where you live. So the best way to find out what you need is talking to your local city. Another place you could go is the state registration office. So check with your state's business registration office or Secretary of State's office. They often oversee business registration and they can guide you on state level licenses and permits. That's another place you can go. You can look these up in your area. I would look up State Registration Office, Washington, and you can give them a call. You can ask them questions, and they can also help guide you to get your license. Now, personally, what I did is I used some online resources. So many government agencies offer online resources and portals where you can find information, apply for licenses, and track the status of your applications. Again, I'm from Washington, so I went to the Washington DOR, and that is where I bought my license. That's where I renew my license. That's where all of my business licensing things happen. I have an account with them, and I can do my taxes on there, and it makes it really easy. Now I'm gonna walk you through what the general steps are when you actually get your license, because you probably never got a business license before. So I'm gonna give you a little idea on what to expect and kind of how it works. One is you'll submit your application. So you're gonna complete the necessary license and permit applications. This may involve providing information about your business, its location, owners and operations. Some applications might be submitted online while others need to be submitted in person. Now mine, I submitted this online. Next is you're going to need to pay any of the fees. So pay any application fees, processing fees, and licensing costs associated with obtaining the required licenses and permits. Now, there is no fixed average of what you're gonna spend on your business license. I pay about $100 a year for mine, but this really, again, depends on where you live. So once you've submitted your applications and paid the necessary fees, you'll need to wait for the relevant authorities to review and approve your application. This process can vary in length. It depends on your location. Again, I know. For me, it did take less than a couple months. Next is you're going to receive your license. So once your applications are approved, you'll receive your business license and any other necessary permits sent to you in the mail. So it's important to have your business license on you all the time when you are doing business. So when you go to a market or a craft show, be sure to have your business license printed out, keep it in a folder. I just have all of my legal things in a binder that I take with me to every show. So lastly is renewal. So business licenses are often valid for a specific period, usually a year. Make sure to renew your licenses and permits on time to avoid any legal issues. So each year, put in your calendar, renew business license. It usually happens annually, but again, really gonna depend on where you live. I'm sorry I keep saying that, it just really does. So make sure you research and you renew it when it needs renewed. I knew I just blabbed all this information at you about legal things, and I promise you we're almost done with this boring legal part. I am going to give you a few more resources if you need to ask any more questions so that you feel a little bit better and less overwhelmed going into getting your license. So the first thing you could do is consult with a business attorney. You can engage a business attorney who can guide you through the legal aspects of starting and operating a business. They can help you choose the right business structure, for example, sole proprietorship, LLC, etc., understand local regulations, and assist you with the registration process. Because it can feel a little overwhelming if you haven't done it yet. But again, I promise you, it's just more of a nuisance. It's not hard. You got this. I trust you. But if you need more help, consult a business attorney. Next is your state business registration. So you can visit your state's official government website or business registration portal to learn about the process of registering your business entity. Different states may have varying requirements and procedures, but in general, they should have all the information for you on your state's website. There are also some more online legal resources that you can check out. There's websites such as LegalZoom, Nolo, and Rocket Lawyer. They offer online resources, guides, and tools to help you understand legal aspects of starting a business, including choosing a business structure and obtaining necessary licenses. So those are all places you can check out. I know it's a lot of information, but I promise you, again, it's more of a nuisance than it is difficult. Okay, one more time. We've got this. I know it feels overwhelming. I was there once too. If you have any more questions on this, go ahead and pop them in the comments down below. Fellow makers and other handmade business owners may have some additional insight and resources to share with you as well. So no, you're not alone. We've all been there. It's stressful at first, but I promise you, you're gonna get through it and it's gonna get easier. You're gonna feel so cool each year when you renew your license. You're like, yeah, I totally know what I'm doing now. We're almost done, but there are a couple more legal things that you may wanna set up. So business insurance. This is really important if you're looking to do a bunch of craft shows. So actually a lot of bigger craft shows will require you to have insurance, and it's a good idea to have anyways. So you might wanna look into getting business insurance as soon as you get your business registered. I will have where you can do that link down below. I suggest just going through Act. That's where a lot of vendors go through. So it's actinsurance.com. So it starts at about $279 a year. So it's really going to depend on what you need, but you can go in there, click everything. It'll give you how much it is. Again, it's really smart to have anyways, and a lot of the bigger shows are going to require you to have it. So just something to keep in mind. Lastly, you may want a separate business bank account. Track your finances separately than your personal things. Trust me, it just keeps it really, really easy. If you're just getting started, even just asking your bank to open a new debit card, even if it's not technically a business one, at least keeping that separate than your personal stuff. I now have a business card set up, so it's with the bank that I use, but I went in and I gave them all my business information and they set up a business account for me. So now all my business transactions go through there, all my income goes through there, and it's so much easier to keep everything organized that way. So that's just something to keep in mind. Depending on your bank, it might cost you a little bit. I think mine cost me something like $20, and I don't even really remember why. It cost me $20. It was kind of stupid, but anyways, it might be free or it might cost a little bit, but it's definitely worth looking into. Okay, we got through all the legal stuff, so now we're actually gonna have some fun and start planning our business a bit more. So next is product development. Please don't overwhelm yourself with a zillion products to start right off the bat. It's actually best to start with around 6-ish products and maybe 3 colors each. I wouldn't go over that at the beginning. Of course, you can add more as you grow in your business and get feedback, but when you're first getting started, I suggest picking out about 6 products. If you're feeling just like, Camryn, no, you just like spat off all that business stuff on me and I don't even know if I want to do this business anymore, it just seems too complicated, then maybe you just want to start with 3 products. If you're feeling completely overwhelmed with the amount of products that you want to offer in your shop, I recommend with just starting with 3 products and 3 different color options. So scrunchies, beanies, and scarves, and then offering all of those products in white, pink, and blue. Boom, there you go, super simple. Keep it easy when you're first getting started in your business. Starting your business is already super overwhelming and complicated, so don't overcomplicate it with a ton of products. I promise you, you can incorporate more products into your business as you grow. So just get started with something very simple. I'm literally sweating. It is so hot today, so I'm gonna throw my hair up. I'll be right back. Probably over 100 degrees, and our AC is kind of not doing so good, so I'm a little hot. If you are still struggling on figuring out what products you want to offer in your shop, I highly recommend checking out this video. I go through and I teach you exactly how to determine your next best-selling product. So go ahead and check out this video if you want to determine what your next bestseller is going to be. Step number 5 is branding and identity, and I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of my favorite thing ever. I went to school to be a graphic designer and I am such a nerd for it. I absolutely love a good visual brand, but I totally get that this section is really overwhelming for most people, especially if you don't have the background in it. It can feel like a lot. It's a whole nother world, right? Coming up with your logo, the visual brand, the typography you use, the colors you use, just how you present yourself as a brand. It's complex. It's a lot, but you can get started and keep growing the more you do business. So don't overthink it. Your brand is going to grow with you as a business. So it doesn't have to be perfect. If that's holding you back from getting started, please don't let it. You can design a logo and change it every year. You can change it every month until you come across something that really fits. I mean, it's frowned upon to change your logo so much, but just know you can adapt it and you can upgrade it. I will post on the screen if I can find all the logos I've used over the years, because I'm kind of embarrassed with how it started, and it has evolved a lot. It has evolved a lot. That's all I'm going to say. And it probably will continue to evolve as I grow my business. So if your logo and your visual brand is really holding you back from getting started, don't let it. I'm going to give you some really easy options to get started with a logo and also just your visual brand. Now, I could break this into an entire series. If you want more videos on the visual brand side of things, then go ahead and comment down below and I will definitely work on some more videos for you. I think visual brand is so important, and it really makes you appear a lot more professional, and you will notice a difference in your sales the better your brand identity is. But with all that being said, I'm not going to overcomplicate this video with a bunch of nerdy graphic design talk, but I will give you a really great place to start. So I'm going to give you 3 options on what to do for your logo. One is you can DIY your logo with Canva, which isn't my favorite option because almost everybody does this. So if you use a template, your logo is probably gonna look like a lot of other people's logos. Now, it is an option, it is free, but if you do use this option, I really highly suggest customizing a template as much as you can so you can make your logo as unique as possible, because I don't want you accidentally copying somebody else's logo and getting copyrighted or any of those things. So if you use a template on Canva, be sure to customize it a ton so that it actually is custom to you and not something that looks like a lot of other people's, if that makes sense. But it is free and it's a great place to get started. Now, one step up from there is hiring out using Fiverr. Now, Fiverr is a great option for really affordable design, and you can actually work with designers on there, freelance designers that will design the logo for you. The thing I like about Fiverr is there's some really affordable options on there. Of course, you get what you pay for, so if you pay for a $5 logo, expect a $5 logo. But it is great to actually work with professional designers on a logo so you get something that you're a little bit more confident with, and you know it's not super generic, I guess, in a way where a lot of other people are using it. Now, the next next option above Fiverr would be hiring a local freelance designer or a local firm to design a logo for you. Now, this could be anywhere from $300 to $3,000. It really is just going to depend on who you work with, but there are some really great options for you. This is more of getting a high-end brand identity. I suggest waiting a little bit in your business to invest in a logo, and that's coming from someone who used to do freelance design. I just don't think it's worth it right at the beginning to invest a lot of money into that, because you don't even know where your business is going to adapt or what you want your logo to look like, because you haven't even been in business that long, which is totally normal. So I suggest either starting out with a DIY logo or investing in Fiverr, which isn't going to be a huge investment. And maybe later down the line, you can work with a designer and get a logo established that's a little bit more fine-tuned to your brand. So that is something to keep in mind when getting started with your logo. Now, as far as your brand identity, I'm just going to break it down into three main things. So we've got your logo, we've got your fonts that you like to use, and we got your colors that you like to use. Ideally, those fonts and colors tie in with your logo. So if you're using two fonts in your logo, then you want to use those two fonts in all of your branding as well. It just keeps everything really cohesive. So that's just kind of a rule of thumb. So I like to say no more than 3 fonts that you use in your branding and no more than 3 colors that you use in your branding. So that ties into your website and ties into your social media. So if you're making graphics for social media, don't be posting like a zillion colors and a zillion fonts and all over the place, and each post is different. I recommend really establishing 3 main fonts and 3 main colors. Now, you can adjust these over time as well. You can incorporate new colors, maybe fade out some colors, but we're getting started. We're going to try to keep it as simple as possible, and also we want to make sure it looks really clean and professional. So picking out no more than 3 fonts and no more than 3 colors. Your main logo, you can have some additional logos. You can have some variations there. That's something that you can do in the future, and again, I can make more YouTube videos on all of this, but just to get started, that's what you want as your base brand identity. And this is gonna help you design business cards. This is gonna help you make social media posts. It's really gonna help you appear really professional right off the bat. Step number 6 is sales and distribution. So this means where you're actually going to be selling the handmade products you're making and planning on selling. So you have a couple options here. We've got craft shows and we've got selling online. Those are going to be the 2 main options for you as a handmade business owner. Now, here's the thing. I highly suggest eventually incorporating both of these into your plan as a business owner, because it's great to diversify your income. But when you're first getting started, either invest a ton of time on the online side of things or a ton of time on the craft show side of things. In general, you'll want some sort of online platform. Even if you're doing craft shows full time, you want somewhere to send your customers, but don't invest a ton of time into growing that if you really, really want to grow selling at craft shows. Now, craft shows is kind of my thing. I kind of flopped selling online when I first started, so I always recommend craft shows. I think it's a really great place to get started, but also selling online is too. So if you want to focus on that side, I would just put craft shows on the back burner for a little bit, so you're focusing most of your energy growing online. Now, if you do want to do craft shows, I do suggest at least having a social media platform and maybe even a website set up, or even an Etsy, so you can send some traffic there. But if you're doing a lot of craft shows, I wouldn't invest a ton of time in the Etsy algorithm and promoting a bunch of your work online. I just wouldn't invest a ton of time in that right off the bat. Now, eventually I would love for you to be incorporating both online and in person into your business and making all of this money in both of these streams of income. But when you're first getting started, I do not want you getting overwhelmed. I do not want you getting burnt out. I don't want you spreading yourself too thin. So I highly suggest picking either selling online or selling at craft shows as your main thing that you do first. You can dabble in the other thing, but really focus most of your energy in one or the other. Selling at craft shows, I have loads of videos on my YouTube channel, so go binge all of my craft show videos. I'm gonna teach you exactly how to sell at craft shows. But if you're wanting to start online, I don't have a ton of videos on that yet, but I am planning on making more of these. Somewhere to look to get started is Etsy. It's super easy to get started with. I do kind of have my opinions on Etsy, which not my favorite, but it is really great for getting started. So that might be an option for you. You can also check in with Shopify. You can also set up a website through Square, which is what I actually did for a long time. I had my Square card reader that I was doing transactions at craft shows, and I set up a website connected to it through Square as well. So I can definitely do more tutorials on that in the future, but just to get you started, bare minimum, at least have a Facebook page or an Instagram page, wherever your ideal customer is hanging out. Now, I don't want you to then go on all the social media platforms and have a TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and try to run all these accounts at once too. I want you to pick one as your main platform, really invest a lot of time into it, and you can repost some of your other things on other platforms, but I would suggest sticking with one platform at least when you get started, because again, I don't want you to spread yourself too thin. Step number 7 is we need to come up with some sort of pricing strategy, because we can't just be throwing out prices every which way, right? We need some sort of strategy on how we're going to price our items so we're not losing money and we're actually making a profit. That is so huge, and it all comes down to what you're charging. You want your prices to be competitive, of course. You don't want to charge too much, and you want to make sure you're actually still selling your products, but you also want to make sure you're making enough for your time. Now, I have a full video walkthrough on my pricing calculator. This is a product I sell on my website. It is such a great product. It's what I use to price all of my products in my handmade business, and so many other makers use this to price their products as well. I've gotten some great feedback on it. I also have other videos on my channel where I go over how to price your handmade products for profit specifically, because I want to make sure you have a pricing strategy that you love and you're confident in, and you know you're actually profiting in your business and you're not just doing this because if you're not profiting in your business, let's be real, you don't have a business, you've got a very expensive hobby. How am I going to set up my pricing strategy in order to best profit in my business? Now, this includes thinking of your materials, also your time, also all the other expenses in your business, and you want to be making a profit on top of all of that as well. I explain more of it in my other YouTube videos, and also you can do all of this on the pricing calculator, so I will be sure to link that down below for you. Okay, we are almost done. We are on to step number 8. Marketing and promotion. So you're all legal now, you know what you're gonna sell, you know who you're gonna sell it to, you know where you're gonna sell it, but now you gotta actually get the people there, okay? We need some marketing happening here so people actually find your shop and they actually purchase from you, because we can have everything else, but if we're not actually getting eyes on our products and putting ourselves out there in our business, we are not going to be making any money because nobody's going to even see what we have to offer. So the first thing I'm going to suggest to you is get some business cards. I can definitely do a full video walkthrough on how to design business cards, but Canva does have a lot of templates if you want to get started. Now, again, with Canva, you want to customize it a little bit, make it you, use your colors from before, use your typography from before that we decided in our logo and our identity, and we can use those and design a business card really quickly and just get your general information on there. So you can start handing out business cards wherever you go. I hand out business cards literally everywhere I go. Definitely something to keep in mind. Always carry business cards on you. It's a great tool for marketing. A lot of people are like, no, business cards don't do anything anymore. No. They definitely do, especially if you're doing in-person craft shows. And even if you're doing sales online, throw a business card or two into their package and let them know where to shop from you again. I know it sounds so silly, but honestly, business cards have been so huge in promoting my business. Also with marketing and promotion, growing a social media page is gonna be huge. Like I mentioned before, I think you should really focus a ton of energy on one. I don't think you should just like close your eyes and pick a random one. I think you really should look into where you think your target audience is going to be hanging out. If you're selling to a lot of younger kids, maybe teenagers, I feel like a lot of them are hanging out on TikTok. I feel like a lot of people hang out on TikTok, but look at where these people are hanging out. You can Google search what social media platform is most popular for women 30 to 40, and you can find where your ideal customer is going to be hanging out more often. I think that is where you really want to get started, and then you can expand from there, of course. But I really do not want you to get too overwhelmed when starting your business. We just went through 8 huge key points in getting a crochet business started. And if you dive too deep into any of these, you can start really getting burnt out fast. So keep it as simple as possible. It's important to keep in mind that one, it is not going to be perfect. It's going to be far from perfect. And I want you to celebrate that. I want you to trust the journey. I want you to make mistakes. I want you to learn from them. I want you to take what you learned today and get started, but know that you have to get started and make some mistakes to get through this initial starting point. Just get started, take action, and don't worry about it being too perfect, especially right at the beginning. I always have to remind myself, this is meant to be fun. We are meant to have fun running our handmade businesses. Don't over stress yourself about it, because really at the end of the day, if you're a perfectionist like me, the things that you're stressed out about are probably not that big of a deal. We just tend to overthink things, and that's okay. It's normal to do that. I do that all the time too, but just know that if you make a decision or if you make a mistake and you feel like it's not the right decision that you made, you can always adjust it in the future. So if you pick a business name and you hate it in a year from now, you can change it. If you make a logo and you hate the colors and it just doesn't fit anymore, you can adapt those. If you offer some products and you have this niche and it's really not working for you, you adapt. And that's the thing about running a crochet business, is we can have this set plan and we can get started, but you're going to adapt and grow so much as you get more experience in your business. So this video is meant to be a guide for you to get started. I really want to encourage you to get started. And I want to encourage you to inspire each other in the comment section down below too. We are all in different places in our handmade business journey, but I know everybody in this community has something to share and something to learn from others. So go ahead and share all of your crochet business thoughts in the comment section. I would love to see where you are at in your crochet business journey. I hope today's video was super helpful. I had a ton of fun filming it for you. If you notice, I had to put my hair up halfway through. That is because it is super hot here right now. We've got a heat wave coming through. I think it's like 100 degrees, so pretty hot. Our AC kind of stinks, so that's why I had to put my hair up. I might have been a little sweaty throughout this video, but I hope this video was helpful for you. I just have a heart-to-heart really quick, just for a second. I know you're a real one because you watched the end of the video. I just wanted to say I am so excited for you to take this next step in your small business journey. I am so grateful that you are here. I'm so excited for you to start selling your beautiful creations. This world does need what you have to make. I promise you, people are gonna find you. They're gonna love what it is that you do, and I cannot wait for you to experience all the joys of selling your handmade items. So if you love this video, I think you're really gonna love this one right here. So I would love to keep hanging out with you here on YouTube, my friends. So if you wanna keep hanging out, I will see you in this video right here. Bye.